Raptors fans, welcome into Raptors Today. Akil Augustine, Sherman Hamilton, Ashley docking for the Toronto Raptors. It's been rough sledding. 9 players available last night in the game. You talk about the big injuries, some more injuries coming up. So more and more pressure being put on this young group and on Gradey Dick, who despite having maybe not his best statistical game of the season in their last night against Sacramento, has been a revelation. So Ashley, I haven't actually talked to you about what you've seen from Gradey this year. There's that jump last year that allowed him to get to where people thought he should be at the pick. But now this year, he's superseding what we thought he would be, especially at that pick.
When it comes to the Toronto Raptors, people love to wax poetic about their development, right?
Player development's been the issue.
905 to the championship, the Fred VanVleet 905 to All-Star, all that stuff. But I think it's obviously at this point proven that they do develop their players very well. And Gradey Dick is just another example of this. Not only has he seemed to start to adjust to the pace of the NBA, which is fine. Obviously, there's growing pains when it comes to that. He's now somebody who's been solidified as, okay, he's an outside shooter. He took over 50% of his shots last season from beyond the arc. Now teams are trying to run him off the line, and with that, he's done a nice job incorporating some of that mid-range looks,
and the cutting.
And being successful at it, too, to do it and then to actually execute, because his time on the floor is up. His efficiency has not dwindled all that much, and he's still being able to be a contributor more than he's ever been for this team, who, as you mentioned, is in the trenches when it comes to injuries. So to find your way through all that early in the season is just positive.
Yeah, I know he's been a huge positive, but one thing we got to talk about, Sherman, especially with Gradey, is teams are now going to start hunting him, right? We've seen some issues with fouls. So what's the next step for him? Because offensively, he's made the jump, but defensively, what can be done? Is it a matter of the coaches maybe recognizing when teams are hunting him and saying, throw a quick zone out there? Or what can be done to mitigate the parts where one of our best offensive players is put in a position where he's got a lot of fouls?
Well, I think, first of all, this is one of the first times we've seen Gradey Dick in a foul situation in this type of environment where he's playing great basketball, he's scoring, he's moved up the scouting report for opposing teams. So now the attention is very different.
Yeah.
So what do we say we do to players who can score? Jokic, you attack him on the other end. You make sure he has to play defense. Try to get him to exert some energy. Jokic is a seasoned veteran. He understands how to conserve and how to coast.
And clutch and grab.
Gradey doesn't yet.
Yeah.
Gradey doesn't yet. So he got one of those new experiences against Sacramento, and now he's got to understand, even if I have foul trouble, I've got to be able to contribute beyond scoring.
Yeah.
And that's where the growth comes in. He's been on fire, averaging over 27 points the last 4 games prior to last night.
Straight balling.
Straight balling. Now you get into foul trouble. How are you going to help your team?
Yeah.
And that's where you continue to see the growth of a Gradey Dick. He wasn't able to figure it out in that game, but from a defensive perspective, he can still be present. We've seen him play defense, and he's a competitor, and when he competes, he's very active. He's a smart player. So I think all we're seeing is Gradey just grow right in front of our eyes. We're going to see him fall down. They're going to pick him up, dust him off. He's going to continue to go, and he's going to continue to get better, I feel.
Yeah, one thing we learned about Gradey is the kid, he can rebound after a little setback.
He bounces back.
He
Short-term
bounces
memory.
back.
He's a competitor, man. He plays hard.